Here on this British motor racing circuit, the world's leading aces with their supercars are preparing for the greatest of all races, the Grand Prix d'Europe.
Formula One has been celebrating 75 years of its World Championship, and it all started here at a humble airfield in Northamptonshire.
It's a great and colourful day for British motorsport.
And we're here to celebrate that anniversary with a man who's about to drive in his first British Grand Prix, Ollie Bearman.
How's it going? Very good, happy to be here.
What's your first memories of coming to Silverstone?
My first memory is maybe a bit later than most, but I remember coming here in 2015. It was the first race that I attended in Formula One. It rained maybe a halfway point, and I remember it really shook up the order. I was standing at the final chicane and there was a lot of action going on there. Lewis won, there was a Ferrari on the podium, and I was standing at the chicane so I could see the podium ceremony, and I remember going in the garage as well at one point in that weekend, the Force India at the time, and yeah, that was my first British GP.
And you could dream about being a driver in the British Grand Prix, and now you are going to be one.
10 years later.
Yeah, incredible. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've raced here in Formula 2 and Formula 3 and even British F3 as well. Scored a podium in F3, which was an incredible feeling. I announced that I would race in F1 in 2025, this time last year. I also did FP1 with Haas, and that in itself was special enough, so I think the full weekend will be fantastic.
Now, you were born 55 years after the first Grand Prix here, back in May 1950. Do you know much about the history of the business?
I know how much the circuit has changed over the years, and how the lap used to be very quick and a very perimeter style circuit. But of course, 55 years ago, I haven't really looked back that far.
Right, there's something I want to show you then. So what I wanted to show you is this lovely black and white movie. The race was actually called the Grand Prix of Europe as well as the British Grand Prix, and it was the first ever race in the Formula One World Championship where they allocated World Championship points.
The flags of the nations frame a scene of intense activity on an airfield near Silverstone.
Very posh commentators.
Bright May morning.
Look at that, look. Basically there's rope protecting the fans from the side of the track. Can you imagine that now?
That wouldn't slide nowadays, I think.
It just seems inconceivable, doesn't it? But back then it was just normal.
That was the norm. Whoever signed that off was seemed crazy nowadays.
I suspect nobody signed it off, might be the problem.
The crowd's attention is suddenly diverted from the activity.
Wow, look at those cars.
King George VI and Princess Margaret along with Queen Elizabeth. There we go, look. There's an ERA.
Wow.
So, and the cars back then, I mean...
Steering wheels.
Yeah. And you had that wonderful fuel tank behind you, looked as sort of crash protection.
And a whole engine in front of you.
Yeah, sort of sitting on the gearbox. Can you imagine? Today you've got the halo and all the crash structure and what have you. Your best chance to survive was to get thrown out of the car. That's what you hoped for.
You hoped that you weren't near the car when you came out of it.
The drivers wait tensely for the dropping of the flag, and they're off. It's a good
So
start.
3 wide back then they would start.
So no, 4. They'd recently changed from 5 abreast on the front row to a luxurious 4.
That seemed like they had plenty of space then.
Yeah, but again, people standing alongside the track, and we're in the pit lane here, and there's no protection whatsoever. No pit wall. No.
Just the team watching on.
Yeah, it looks quite pedestrian actually, doesn't it, as they're taking them.
Farina gets in front of the first lap in 1 minute 50.6 seconds, a speed of 94.02 miles per hour.
94.
Not bad.
Closely by his teammates Fangio and Fagioli.
The 4 Alfas were so fast.
Yeah.
They were so much faster than everybody else. I think they did a little bit of showboating to try
Keep
to
it interesting.
keep it interesting, yeah.
Team orders back then.
Yeah, do you think? Yeah, it probably was, wasn't it?
The royal party is personally conducted around the inside of the circuit by Mr. Wilfred Andrews and officials of the Royal Automobile Club. David Murray brings his Maserati into the pits and complains about overheating and lack of horses.
Lack of horses.
You're quite right.
Lack of horses. So yeah, it was about half a minute was a decent pit
Big
stop.
fuel tank to fill.
Yeah, so if you have a 2.8 in the race here, don't be that unhappy
Yeah,
about it.
I'll be happy, yeah.
Farina has only half a second lead over Fangio.
Half a
There,
second?
With only a few miles to go, you can hear the groan from the crowd as the loudspeakers announce Fangio has retired with a broken oil pipe.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And so Farina comes in to receive the checkered flag.
2 hours and 13 the race. I reckon
Wow.
it's a long time to be
It's long for us, you know, a 2-hour race for us
Yeah.
is a long day.
Yeah.
So I can imagine back then, when
Jockeying.
you're really out in the elements as well, just a pair of goggles.
Yeah, sitting in an armchair.
At least they had comfort.
Yeah. That's the podium.
It is indeed a great day for Giuseppe Farina, Doctor of Engineering and racing driver.
Doctor of Engineering.
They had like leather helmets on. That was it. So that was their protection and some
Incredible,
goggles.
isn't it?
Yeah, they were gladiators, weren't
Yeah, they make us look a lot less fierce than we feel, maybe.
So the crowds make their way homewards, tired but happy, and stimulated after a day which will live long in their memories.
What do you reckon to all that?
It's incredible, the risk that they took, probably unknowingly, because that was all they knew, right? But us looking back with all the developments that they've made since then, it's crazy to see what they were up against.
Would you like to have a go in one?
I would love to.
Let's do that.
That day of the 1950 Grand Prix d'Europe.
Look at those beauties.
Oh my God.
An ERA pre-war and an Alfa 158, similar to the car that actually won the 1950 race we were just watching.
That is incredible. They have colour.
Yeah,
I didn't realise. They looked black and white.
yeah.
I never thought I'd see something like this.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I have like a model of this car,
Yeah.
a car like it at home. Wow.
6-cylinder engine in the ERA. This is a 1.5 litre 8-cylinder engine, the tiny little pistons. So that's your crash protection, that's your fuel tank.
Fuel is here.
Yeah. This is a much more modern car. Yeah, look at that, no seatbelts. And a leather helmet, as we saw, and everybody thought that was just fine.
That was good to go.
And the really quirky thing about the Italian cars of this era is the throttles in the middle and the brakes on the right-hand side.
You don't want to forget that one.
No. Right, I bags this one first.
I've got the blue one then.
Yeah. Is blue your
Beautiful.
favourite colour?
It is now.
Right, let's get togged up. I think we'll go out and give them a run around the track. Cylinder. Remember the brake pedals on the right hand side, Martin? Here comes Ollie. Oh yeah, now we're getting some speed.
Oh, the wind!
My goodness me, you sort of send a message to the steering and sometime later that day something happened. Beautiful, little slimline little car. I can almost reach out and touch my own rear tyres. Wow! What a sound! Listen to that sound under the bridge. Oh my goodness me. How did they average 90 miles an hour for 2.25 hours? Unbelievable. What heroes.
I think I have a bit more grip in it.
He's so confident in that car, he's off down the road in a heartbeat. This one moves about a bit. Really odd to have to heel and toe the way you do. Here he comes. Ollie down the outside into Brooklyn.
Wow. What a day.
They build speed so unbelievably quickly. Let's see if he wants to have a go in this. You want to have a go in this? Yeah, let's swap over. Excellent. He took to that like a fish to water. He really did.
I might need a quick lesson.
Yeah. Instinctively, you go for the brake. If it starts to slide, you instinctively go for the wrong pedal.
Throttle, brake.
So there's the brake. Now you have to swing your foot sort of right. When you want to blip down, that's it. Yeah, you have to blip with your heel on the centre throttle. Just be wary that if it all goes wrong, you'll hit the wrong pedal.
Try not let it all go wrong, man.
Right, I better learn how to drive this one.
Do you want a lesson?
Yeah.
So, third and fourth.
Yeah.
When you get out of the pits, you can put this here.
Yeah.
And that keeps you in third and fourth.
Okay, like a little stay. That's simple.
And then you pre-select the next gear.
Yeah.
So after you're in fourth, pre-select third, and when you blip it, it does it.
As soon as you hit the clutch, yeah?
But coming out of the pits, you'll be like this. It's really like low RPM.
Yeah.
But she's a beaut.
Oh yeah, I like that. It's so much more intuitive, and the pedals are the right way round. Suddenly I feel like I'm driving again. Oh, I see what Ollie means. The steering is quite heavy. This is a much easier car to drive than the other one. I'm sure the other one is much, much faster. Superb. He's sliding around. That one's low on rig.
What a machine! Oh my god!
This is much easier to drive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot faster.
That is quick.
Yeah, it's really quick, but you've got to think it through, haven't you?
The brakes are much better on this.
Yeah.
This is a challenge.
Yeah, the brakes are somewhere to rest your foot when you're having an accident.
Yeah.
Superb.
Incredible. Ah, what a car, man.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Certainly an experience. There were some moments there where, you know, I had going into Cops one lap. It's not flat like it is in the current cars, I'll tell you that much.
I saw you go in there and I thought, that's not going to turn. But you've got the confidence of youth. You were just carrying speed everywhere.
Exactly, no fear yet.
But that car is fast, but you need to know the technique, don't you?
It's tough with the throttle in the brake position. Sometimes it's normally okay, but then when something happens unexpected, that's where you forget and you end up hitting the throttle when you're meant to hit the brake, and that's never a good thing.
I mean, this little ERA, that raced over a period of best part of 20 years.
It's incredible.
One way and another.
Imagine that in modern F1. A 20-year-old car would never keep up with our ones.
Like a 2-year-old car probably wouldn't.
Exactly.
But I find it very intuitive. Jump in, the gearbox was lovely.
It's really good, the gearbox. It felt almost automatic. It was super easy.
Yeah.
Certainly easier than this one with the backwards.
Yeah, you have to think about the pedals, think about the gear lever, and then look out and see what kind of trouble you're in. But it was lovely to see them sliding around, and just that's how they, you know, all those great pictures of Fangio and gang.
Huge steering wheel.
You think they'd burn their tyres to bits, wouldn't you?
Yeah, nowadays you would. Back then, these tyres are so stiff, you kind of need to get any temperature in them.
Yeah, but what gladiators? I mean, averaging 90 miles an hour in a 2.25 hour race.
I think we just about hit 90 miles an hour. That was plenty.
And top speed approaching 200. I mean, how brave did they have to be? Because no seatbelts, no safety. You were towering at the top of this.
I felt like I was going to flip over with that centre of gravity. Going down the straight into Brooklands, and when the wind hit you, you really noticed it. That was a little scary. You're actually physically getting pushed side to side in the car. And we're doing maybe 100 on a good day.
Yeah.
They're doing 200. It's incredible.
Yeah, because you're now so far inside the car, we can barely tell who's in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas here, you can see the driver's upper
Whole body language.
Their facial expression, everything. Gritting teeth, flies in their teeth.
Yeah, a bit of oil for good measure.
It's so good, isn't it, to experience what they did, and I mean, they were pioneers. We wouldn't have Formula One today as we have it
Without these guys.
pioneers and without the magnificent owners who let us drive these cars around it. That was quite risky for them.
They're incredibly confident in us, which
And
I don't know if they should have been, but yeah, incredibly generous. And I think, you know, you watch back those videos from years ago and you have such an incredible respect for them, but actually getting in the car and driving at half the speed that they would have and feeling the fear, you know, seeing the walls nearby and knowing that if you hit that, it's going to hurt. It's incredible. It's such a newfound respect I have for them.